Give me 2 seconds. Yes.
This is Pippi, and this is Dan. Can you see Dan?
Hello.
Hey, Dan.
How are you?
Good. Where are you located?
I am in Sydney.
Okay.
What about yourself?
I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, lovely.
And this is Rick.
Hey, Rick, how you going?
Good morning. I'm good, mate. How are you?
Good morning. Good, mate. Good.
Can you see Rick, Pippi?
I was just checking this.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I can see 3 of you.
Yes,
Okay.
it looks a bit like a Brady Bunch screen here. Right?
It does a little bit, does it? Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can switch my video off so you guys get better reception if I can. Yes. Okay, so that's better reception already without my face. Now, just guys, you've been in business a while and you've had your ups and downs. So Pippi had a couple of no sales a couple of days ago and was a bit down in the dumps, so you have to cheer her up.
Okay.
We've all been there, Pippi.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tell her it's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world.
Absolutely not.
But you do want to just.
Rick, you've had a few no sales in your time, haven't you?
Yeah. I remember the first time I did. I was absolutely shattered. I couldn't believe it. I took it as they didn't like the photos more than anything, but it wasn't that at all. Like when you look at it, you think, well, there's nothing wrong with the photos. It's no different to what I normally did. It was just them. There was obviously I didn't at the time qualify them well enough and tell them the prices up front or whatever. And that was the sole purpose. So, and since then, yes, I've had a few more. I've had some rippers, but we could spend all day talking about that. You just sort of have to say, well, let's just move on to the next one.
Yes, it's you never know what's going to happen in that sales room, do you?
No.
No. We had something similar happen over even just this last weekend. We did two shoots. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and one of them ended up getting the top package, and the other one bought one digital file.
Yeah.
So it was just, and the photos I think are gorgeous. And she said that. I think it, like what you were saying, Rick, comes back to the whole education thing, because it's only after she saw the photos. And keep in mind, this is 36, we counted them, 36 emails back and forth to try and decide to buy one digital file. So
and these were online, right?
Yeah. These were online. Yeah,
so
there wasn't even any issue, like as far as like me supply. Everything's online, but she was asking about this and that, and it's just
36 emails.
So when you look at it like that, your time, you've wasted so much time for one file, haven't you?
Completely. Yeah, totally right. So, yeah, in fact, that's actually worse than a no sell at all. I'd rather just get a no and just be over and done with. But I mean, I think we put the discussion of the pricing way ahead in the conversation. We bring it up 2 or 3 times. They tell us that they've gone through the price list, and yet at the end of the whole process, they're like, "Oh, I don't know that we can afford that," right? So they've obviously not. I don't know whether they've, it's gone in one ear and out the other. But it basically, I think it just comes down to them understanding what it costs ahead of time. I think that's what it comes down to. But it does happen. It does. You can't get you can't control that to a certain degree. You're going to get maybe 10% of people that are duds, 10-20% are just going to be duds.
Yeah, and you got to look at it too, Pippi. That imagine if you were in a shop, you were selling clothes, and would you expect everybody that walked into your shop to buy something? If they sort of looked and walked out, would you beat yourself up over every single person that walked in and out? It's I know it's a little bit different, but
it's the time investment.
Yeah.
That weighs on my brain, but I have to just think of it as a sunk cost.
Yeah.
Learn from it. Learn from each and
That's
every one.
exactly what it is.
It hurts more when you're sort of a bit strapped for cash and all of a sudden you put all this time in and they bought nothing. It's like, you pricks, why didn't you buy? Come on. What's wrong with you?
It used to happen. So in the beginning, it used to happen to us a lot, right? When I mean a lot, it was probably 50% because we were learning, right? And one of the things that I don't know, I've got it in my head now. When it happens now, because during the session, I make sure that at the very least, I've got an ad out of it. So there's an image in there that I'm going to use for an ad. So I've got everything that I need for them, but I do not end the session until I have one photo that at least is going to produce an ad of some sort. So even if I don't buy anything, I think I can honestly say, hard on hand now, I really don't care too much. Sure, I want them to buy, but it doesn't destroy me like before. Before it used to, I used to take the shit really, really personally. It's just not everyone's going to like them. Not everyone's going to be able to afford them. And I think it's just identifying them early on in the process. That's the bit that we get better at, I think, because the duds will come regardless.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I've had 3. Bernie will tell you, I've had 3 this month where, I booked them in for a session. They paid their $50 deposit, and they didn't even show up to the portrait session. What do you do? You can't drag them in. I'd like to grab them by the hair and drag them in, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no. If you did, you'd probably get another sale, right?
Well, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, well, yeah, you just don't know. So, it's a learning experience. But I keep telling you guys, time and time again, that what in my head when I was photographing, I only photographed for money, and everything in my head, every movement, every step my head was always at the sales session. Have I put everything in place to try and make sure that sales session goes as it should? In other words, there's a resolution, one way or the other. And the question was always, have I maximized the sale? Have I got as much money out of them as I could? When I say that, not as much money as I could, but have they spent more than they thought they were going to, but are happy that they did? And that's not necessarily a massive sale. It's they've spent more than they thought, but they're really happy they did. So that's the balance. So Pippi is a pet photographer and photographs dogs around San Francisco Bay with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background and things like that. And
yeah,
which is pretty cool, hey.
That's very good, actually. You know what? We've got a bridge in Sydney. We might have to try that.
No, you guys don't do just a good spot to do a bridge photo.
Yeah, take your dog to the top of the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge walk. No, actually, you know what? We do actually. We haven't done any. We do pets at the beach. We've got a beach here that is dog friendly, so you can just let them run around, and and that's something we're probably going to be targeting over the next month or so because it's starting to get warm here now. So we're going into beach season now, so which I like. And so I get to turn up to work in a pair of shorts.
I'm stuffed with on the bridge.
What about the
Oh yeah.
opera house? Is there a good spot
Yeah, we could do that.
like dogs with the opera house in the background?
That would be sensational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These two
But,
So
dogs
it's a
don't belong, Bernie.
yeah.
So is it mostly dogs, or do you ever get like cats as well, or any other pets?
Sometimes cats.
Yeah.
Pippi is doing her first book project, and Rick, you've done a few books.
Yep. Got two printed, and I'm working on 3 at the moment. Or getting people in for 3 more.
Did you do? You did cars, classic cars, and
Yeah, I did the kids and their dogs. That was my first one, and families and their classic cars was the second one. And at the moment, I've got little ballerinas on the go. I've got fabulous women, and I've got mothers and daughters.
All
It's all
going at the
happening.
same time?
Yeah,
Wow.
at the same time. Yep.
so
Bit of a challenge. I don't remember what you're photographing.
Pippi,
I have to keep going back to my notes.
yeah, Pippi. When I suggested kids and dogs, she didn't like the idea of photographing kids.
Oh.
It's a challenge. When Bernie put that one in on me,
Yeah.
I thought, no, this will be a bit of fun. I mean, I don't have a dog, so I'm not really a pet person, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Yeah, it was an eye-opener. Although I think the parents are more stressed than me, to be honest. I thought it was a bit of fun.
Well, you did
It's fun.
you did the project though.
Oh, yeah, I did the project. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Towards the end, I was sort of starting to get over the dogs because it was just like cleaning so much hair in the studio. It was just a mess, and and it was the same thing there. I had people coming in, and this was early on with Bernie. People would come in and, you want to get this really big portrait for the wall, and they wouldn't show up to the viewing, or they just wouldn't buy anything. And yeah, then I remember having one girl that the first thing she said to me was, "I'm a professional photographer," and I thought, well, there goes the sales, because I know she's going to argue, and she argued everything: the pose, the lighting, just everything. And obviously didn't show up. So there was quite a few no sales. It got to the point with the no sales that in order to get the book completely finished with enough pages in there, I actually had photos that I had done prior to the actual book project of Kids and Their Dogs, and I just said to people, "Do you mind if I put your child and dog in this book?" So I've got enough people in there. So I think I had 5 that were reams, so to speak. But yeah, look, it was the same thing then for me, PBI. There was quite a few in that project that just didn't show up, didn't buy, came in trying to tell me which photo they wanted in the book, and that's the only reason they were there for. And it was my fault. I can't blame them. I have to blame myself, because my thing with anything in business, if there's a downturn in business, the first person I blame is me, because I'm obviously not doing the right thing. I'm not doing enough. And I think I said that to Bernie when our very first Skype chat before we sort of we started together. There was a downturn where I live. We had the Ford Motor Company was here, and they just closed down, and there was a downturn. But who do I blame? Do I blame them? No.
Let me just see if I can connect this other person. Yeah, so you never know, and that's the exciting thing. We'll just see Murray's going over here in a minute. You never know. We'll just wait a sec. It may appear. Hello? No. Yeah. So anyway, Pippi, Rick's been in business for around years.
For on my own now, it's coming up to 10 years. Yeah. I was managing another studio prior to that. So with that, it's probably been 18 years.
All alone is Rick. All alone. Does everything himself.
Yeah. On my Facebook, because I see all these people, these photographers, and on their Facebook page, they've got CEO at, da-da-da. So I put on mine, chief coffee maker and photographer, because that's what I do. I make the coffee, I sweep the floors, I wash the windows. Ain't that the truth for everyone?
And you paint the place as well.
And what?
Paint the studio.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, yeah. I'm chief painter too. Good morning, Miro.
Hello.
Hello.
You're right, that's Pippi up there with the glasses.
Hi, Pippi.
Pippi's in San Francisco.
Hi, Pippi. How are you?
I'm good.
Sorry I'm so late.
Slept in?
I had to get coffee and I got breath tested on the way.
What
You know, that
coffee?
sounded like...
I went to, there was like all this traffic and I'm like, what's going on? Is there a car accident? But they were breath testing.
Wow. You must live in a rough neighborhood.
That actually sounded like breast testing.
No, breath testing to make sure I didn't drink alcohol at 8 in the morning and rock up to work late. Drunk, I should say.
You're right. We're trying to lift Pippi a little bit because she had 2 no sales. Can you give any examples of bad customers that you've had of late?
Oh my
maybe
God,
one.
where do I start? Hey, Daniel, how are you? It's Daniel, right?
How are you? Yes.
Yeah. Bad examples. Oh, so many. Where do I start? What do you want me to? You know of some of them.
But what about your latest?
The family that came in that won the Mother's Day competition. That one.
Yeah, that'll do.
Won a competition, did a beautiful sunset shoot, gorgeous family, then kept delaying their viewing session, and 3 months later they're in, and they bring 4 kids. The kids come into my bedroom. They think they own the house. They all wanted hot chocolate. They all wanted coffees. I sat there before the session making coffees and hot chocolate and you name it. Ran out of milk, ran out of biscuits, ran out of mugs, everything.
The viewing session.
And, then showed him the photos, loved all the photos. And then he's like, do we have to make a decision now? And I was like, well, yeah, I spoke to you about this. You need to make a decision. And then he was like, oh, we're not debating your price or whatever. Your work's fantastic. We love you as a person. We love everything about you, but we need to go on a payment plan. I said, okay, the payment plan's for 3 months, da-da-da-da. He goes, no, I need 12 months. And I said, I can't give you 12 months. And he goes, you just don't want to or you can't do it? And I said, I can't do it. I'm sorry. The maximum is 6 months and you have to leave a deposit. So anyway, that was
a $3,500 sale.
Yeah. That was going back and forth. And then he said, I can't make a decision now. I need to think about it. So I said, okay, well, if you get back to me at this time tomorrow, I'm going to upgrade the size of your album. So they ended up getting back to me and had a long conversation with him over the phone and he's telling me how fantastic I am and if he can help me in any way. He's the vice president of a soccer club, of this, of that, and he said, it's just not a good time. And I said, okay, well, I've already held the files for 3 months. I'll give you until January. How does that sound? I'll hold the files till January, and then maybe you'll be in a better financial decision. He goes, oh, that would be fantastic. And that was it. So no sale.
So what did you tell him that you'd do with the files after January? They just get archived or they
blow them up?
What?
No, I said, as you know, I hold the files for 28 days. You've cancelled your sessions that many times, like to see me. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry. Like, they were nice people, but at the end of the day, I couldn't close the deal. They couldn't afford the photos. That's the bottom line. They wanted the photos. They actually weren't debating about the price. They didn't ask for a discount or anything like that. So I called Bernie and I said, look, I don't really know what's happened here. I don't know if I've done something wrong or if there's anything more I could have done. And Bernie just thinks that they were lying and I won't hear from them in January. Like, I won't get a sale. And then Wendy was arguing as well, saying, no, maybe they will. I don't know what's going to happen.
You know what? Can I just add something to that, right? I had a similar experience about a year and a half ago, and I got exactly what you just said, right? This and that. I said, okay, well, I'll hold them. And this, I nearly fell on my ass when they rang me 10.5 months later and placed an order.
A big order or?
I think it was $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
it's only happened once though. So let me just say that I don't.
This is what I've learned, and I don't know if you guys feel the same now, but you get those no matter what you do, no matter how good the photos were.
Yeah.
I was telling Bernie, I said, this photo shoot was amazing. Like, the lighting was amazing. They even said the photo, like their family photo, was like perfect. They couldn't have asked for anything more. And I actually agree. Like, every now and then I take shit photos, like the kids are playing up or they're not, whatever it is. But these were actually amazing photos. And I was telling Bernie, and I said, I find that it doesn't matter how good the photos are, if they can't afford the photos or they've got something going on or they're having a bad relationship, whatever it is, they're not going to spend money on the photos. Bottom line, right? Yeah. And the other thing I've learned is not to get hung up on that. Like, and I think when you're first starting out, and I don't know where you are in your business, Pippi, but I used to get hung up on a lot of things like that. And I used to take it very personally and take it on board and, really beat up myself about losing the sale. But I've got so many, I made a fantastic sale yesterday, for example. This happened last week, but I've done a fantastic sale yesterday. And because I'm always working on my marketing with Bernie, and I've got clients coming in, then, another good job just around the corner, even though sometimes it's really hard to see it. And that's the way you've got to think. And sometimes it's really hard, especially if you're having a bad day, you've got all your bills to pay, mortgage, whatever it is, and you get a few of those in a row, because that's happened to me. I've had 6 in a row. I've had 10 in a row where people come in and not. But I've reduced them a lot less because I'm getting better at qualifying my clients over the phone. And there's certain questions that I ask them, and, you just pick up on things, and I won't book them in if I feel that, they don't have the money. A dead giveaways, they don't have money on their credit card. They've got to wait to get paid, or they've got to get their husband's credit card. That's a dead giveaway. If they can't leave a deposit, hello? If they can't leave a $50 or $100 deposit, how are they going to pay $1,000 or upwards from that for a photo shoot? So I just like, okay, well, give me a call back once you've got your deposit. And I never hear from them.
So, Murray, we like numbers. You said you had a fantastic sale. Well, give us a number.
I'm glad you asked, Bernie, because so yesterday, 2 weeks ago, I did a photo shoot from a past client. I had shot her wedding years ago. She had come in from a Facebook ad and brought her 2 kids. Wasn't a big sale at the time. Maybe she spent around $1,000 at the time. And then a few years later, she's like, my sisters and I and the kids want to come in. We're giving a Christmas present to my mum, or a birthday present, whatever it was. We want to get rid of some really old daggy photos in her house, and we want to replace them with a fresh one. Booked them in for a photo shoot, did the photo shoot. As we're doing the photo shoot, she said to me, my niece is coming with her mum just to drop in because we want to get a photo of all the kids. Is that okay? I said, of course. I ended up doing basically 2 photo shoots booked in for one, okay, and I didn't even know about it. And this beautiful girl came in. Her dad was African American, so she had beautiful skin, you know, the curly hair. I actually posted some of the photos on my Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if you guys saw them. But I was just hooked on taking photos with her. So I did their session, and then I ended up doing another session. It was only like 10 minutes. And I said to the mum, I'm going to book you in for a session to have a look at the photos. I know you didn't plan on, you know, having photos of her. She's just so gorgeous. I've got some amazing photos, and just come in and have a look at them. She was very hesitant. She goes, all right, I'll come in and have a look at them. I'm going to bring my mum because I know she'll pay for the photos. So I did the first session, sold them 30 by 45, which I charged $2,400 for. They took one of those and an 8 by 12. So $2,400 plus $290, what's that? That was the first sale. Plus I charged $195 for the session fee. Then a week later, which was yesterday, the girl came in with her mum. I actually thought it was going to be either a no sale or they were going to buy like a little 8 by 10 or an 8 by 12. That's just the vibe that I got. And then she ended up getting a 9-block acrylic that I bought her from Brilliant Prints. I charged $2,500 for that. She bought that. Then her daughter wanted to buy something but couldn't make a decision. She goes, I hate being put on the spot. I can't make a decision. And now what I'm feeling that when people say they can't make a decision, they don't like the pressure, they've actually got financial problems. That's what I'm realizing. So then I said, look, if you buy both of them together, I'll give you $150 off if you put it through with your mum's order. So I said, why don't you go home and think about it and message me later tonight? She goes, oh, you don't mind me messaging you? I said, no, not if it's a message. So her mum actually messaged me. She goes, we're going to take the large tabletop acrylic. And what does that come to? And I said, well, that's $995. I'll give you $150 off. So total sale last night, which I thought was going to be from no sale.
Around 6,000.
$1,225.
6,000?
6,225.
Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And look, they say I'm expensive, but they know everyone's used me. And it's all that branding, all that social media crap I keep posting. You know, I was invited to a VIP night for a local, it's called Laser Clinics Australia. They do laser, hair removal and injectables. And I got to know the owner there, and I said to her, you know, why don't we do the third-party gift certificate thing, you know, like you guys do with the car dealerships and all that. And so they had a VIP night last night, and they sold packs of this special treatment that was going out. And they gave away 5 of my $500 gift certificates. And she ended up messaging me saying, thank you so much for showing up and your support. And I only went there for half an hour, but I showed my face. I took a selfie with them, posted it this morning on Instagram. She's already sent me another message saying thank you. So there's 5 potential clients there that have a gift certificate that have already spent in that business $2,000 on the night. So they're the kind of clients that you want, that, you know, are really into themselves, are into photos. Anyway, am I like talking too much?
Yeah. It's nothing unusual. I mean, you need a day really on your own, right? Maybe we'll get you a gig in the United States, and you can annoy everybody there.
Hey, Ray, what's your Instagram?
It's just my name. It's Murray Sassine. So MURIELLE Sassine SASSINE. And that's probably why I was late too, because I was like Instagramming. I usually do it first thing in the morning if I miss it the night before. It's a lot of work, but it pays off. Even though people don't make comments or whatever, they still see your stuff. If I've gone on holidays, and even if people don't make comments on my holiday photos, they always say to me, oh, you know, how was Dubai? And I'm like, how do you know I went on Dubai? And I'm like, oh, my Instagram.
So yeah, Mirai's been all over social media for a long, long time, and it sort of pays off because she has a following. It's sort of like, where's Wally, where's Mirai, right?
Really?
They want to know where she is and what she's doing and who she's photographing. So that's what you've got to build up. That's the presence that you have to do. So Dan has just left work to do photography full time with his studio, right?
Yes.
Oh, congratulations. That's a big
Thank you.
step.
It is a big step, but it's the right step, I'm sure.
It's been a long time coming. Hey, Dan.
I know, yeah, we've been planning it for a while now. So thanks to Bernie. It's so what, a couple of months ago now. So
what did you do before? Like, what were you doing?
I used to do, it was management at I used to manage all the back end billing systems for Optus. It's Optus is a telecommunication like a Verizon, and it's just an awful industry to be in. So it's it's much better now. Much better now. I've run my business before as well, and it's always a better place to be as well. So, and having to sort of being told what to do, micromanaged and all that sort of stuff, I don't like it at all. So, so no, it's been good.
And
now you got to be a motivator. That's the difference. You got to be You have to be self-motivated. Before you're probably on the opposite end of the scale, being micromanaged, being told what to do. Now you have to be motivated yourself.
Yeah, luckily I don't have a problem with that. I have a little routine in the mornings that sort of gets me, like I have to get up, I have to get dressed, and I have to get into like a work mode, right? If I rock up to the computer in my pajamas, it's just, it's downhill from there, I think, right? So I have to have this little routine, and but it's way more enjoyable as well. You're in control, and so, and your whole day is just, it's marketing. It's in my head the entire time. How do I do this? How can I do that? How can I do this better? Efficiencies, or because now it makes a difference, right? So all of those little things that you do now have a positive or sometimes a negative result. Right? So no, it's really good. It's really good. And I was a little bit concerned because we were just talking about before you joined, having no sales, right? And I was telling the guys, we had one. It was just, this is one for the records for us. After 36 emails back and forth, she bought one digital file.
Wow.
And it's like what a waste of time. Seriously, you should have. Had I known that, I would have just given it away.
How did it get to 36 emails in the first place?
So initially it was just, this woman refused. She said she didn't have a phone or refused to give the number away. Right. So just setting up.
I don't have a phone.
I don't know, right? Or they're just like really paranoid about just giving their information away, right? So it was back and forth. And we're trying to set it up with, we sort of line them up within 1 hour of each. We're shooting at the beach at the moment, and for that particular day, we were trying to line them all up, right? So, something that can take a 5-minute phone call ended up in this number of emails. Now, I wasn't doing the emails. Luckily, I would have just stopped it then and there, just gone.
Yeah, I was going to say, why didn't you just stop it and say, look, we're not, we're just. I don't know what I think I've been in a situation. Say, look, I really need to talk to you to get you booked in or organise this. I can't keep going back and forth with emails. I don't have the time. I can't respond to you.
Totally. And it's one of those things you just get sucked in sometimes. Like going back and forth, thinking it'll just be this email and it'll be sorted, right? And it's like, oh man, it's like insane, right? And it's good for a laugh, I guess.
It's an early flag. It's an early flag, though, isn't it? It's a red flag early. Once you're into 10 emails.
It's a red flag with fireworks and a strobe light and all sorts of things. You're like, going off and stuff.
You love your strobe lights.
Yeah, and I guess it's sometimes it turns into a little bit of like a I don't know. You have to cross that line where sometimes you're like, you're prepared to lose a client, or potentially lose a client, or a big sale, because you just don't think because you think it's not going to work, right? So sometimes subconsciously you just, but I think what's happened at that point, the client is taking control, and that's where we've gone wrong, I think, right? The client took control at that point, whereas we've got the control, and then you sort of didn't realize that you've lost the control, so you sort of keep going, and then until the end you go, okay, mark this one for next time, it's not going to happen again.
So can I just ask Pippi a couple of questions? Because Pippi, we've only been coaching over the last 3-4 months or so, and Pippi's prices were very low, right? They were $35 for a 7x5. That was about right, Pippi, wasn't it?
Yes.
So we whacked that up to 95, I think, or something, and recreated her price list. So are you getting your head around those prices yet? I mean, we've all been through that. We've all been on a low price, and we've had to gradually put the prices up. And are you getting your head around?
Yeah, I think I'm getting more comfortable with it. And I mean, I don't feel like any of the low sales or no sales would have been better if my prices had been lower.
Yeah.
Really, but so, and then a lot of people are totally fine with the prices.
Yeah, well, those are the ones you want. So and don't forget those prices. Get that cat away.
Yeah,
cat.
sorry.
Everybody's got a cat.
Bring the cat back.
Yeah, bring that cat.
Look, show you.
Dan's got 2 cats, I think. Haven't you, Dan?
Oh no, just the one. Just the one. This is Mimi.
Mimi. Oh, is she a Russian
There you
blue?
go. She's a Russian blue, yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Yeah. So with the pricing thing and the confidence thing, it's part of growing, isn't it? You have to grow with your prices, and you have to keep as your prices go up, so your confidence, you sell, and then your confidence goes up, and confidence is so important, and not to worry about the prices. You're worrying. You tend to worry about the prices for your customer, don't you? And you shouldn't, because it's up to them. They make the decision.
Can I say something in regards to that? Confidence is massively important, I think, as well. And it's always scary to lift your prices as well, especially when I was saying when you don't have that many customers, or you're not sure about things, or when you're on that sort of path of thinking. But even yesterday when I made that big sale, the lady was very dominant. Like, she even told me to get off my computer and sit there, and I made a joke of it. And I let her for, a couple of minutes sit on my computer, and she was, I don't know how to use this. And I was just laughing at her, and I said, I'll just go into the other room and you just get whatever you want and work it all out. And I said, just jump back on the couch and I'll help you with this. And she was like, okay, fine. So she wanted to control the sale, and she was very dominant. And I'm a very dominant person, so she was even more than me. So I kind of just sat back and played around with it. And then she started, when I was talking to her about prices. So I've got these little acrylic tabletop things. I don't know if you've seen them. So I sell a set of 3. I sell a set of 3 for $695. Then they can get 2 6x4 acrylics for $795, and then or a 5x7 for $795, and then the 8x12 is $895, and then a large 12x12 is almost $1,000, so $995. And she said to me, "Excuse me," she goes, "I'm a very straightforward person, and I just need to let you know that there's a massive jump in these prices, and if I look at the sizes, they're not that different." And I said, yeah, that's a good point. And I said, but it's a charge for labor. It's like if you were going to get tiny little frames, done, I would still have to offer you the same price as an 8x10. And she goes, oh, okay. She just sat back down. She goes, okay, yeah, I understand. But anything I said, she was ready to pounce on top of me and say, why are you charging this for this? Why are you charging? But I just kept my cool, and I said, there's freight involved. I've got to pay for freight, and you're paying for labor. So if you went smaller than that, it would still be around the $600 mark. That's just the way it is. And then she was like, okay.
The interesting thing was that webinar that I had with Mireille, which was 5 years ago, where she mentioned you were charging $950 for all the digital files.
Yeah.
And now you're charging $3,450 for all the digital files.
3,495, and I upped it 1,000 from last year. So last year I was charging 2,495, and I thought, okay, well, how do we give them more value? I just changed the album. It looked like a more of an expensive album, but it wasn't. And I even play around with that, because if you buy your album from Brilliant Prints, you can get a 12 by 12. It costs you about $200, and that includes design as well. And then you can get an 11 by 14 for the same price. So I've got both of them on display, and I show them the 12 by 12. And then if they're hesitant to spend or whatever, I'm going to say, you know what, I'm going to upgrade your album. Normally the upgrade is valued at $600 to the 11 by 14. I'm going to do that for you complimentary. And straight away, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. That upgrade doesn't cost me nothing. It's not even really an upgrade. But to them, because I presented it as a bigger album, oh my God, she's giving me $600 extra worth of value.
All your digital files are 3,495, and they also get an album and 1114 print, do they?
No, they get a 12 by 12 album, but depending on the customer, I'll do the upgrade sort of thing, and offer them the upgrade complimentary if they're hesitant to spend. And they also get their very own phone app as well. So everything that goes into the album goes into the app.
Yeah, so this is have it all. You know, you get all the digital files, you get an album, you get a digital app type scenario.
Yeah, and that's actually my most popular package. Like, I sell like a lot of those.
So as we put the price up, I said we've also got to put the perceived value up. So then you added things to it.
Yeah. It was always the app and the album, but it was only a small 5 by 7 album before. So now I've made it look like it's substantial, with a bigger album, and I don't even lay the album out. They lay it out. It's so easy. I just upload a link to the Dropbox where the files are, and they create the album for $30. Like, it's a no-brainer. For $30, create the album, and I can make changes if I want. It's very rare that I make changes. Sometimes I'll say change the front cover, or if I know that I want a particular photo for the front cover, I'll name the file front cover, and then in the notes I'll say use the file for the front cover, and they design the rest of it.
So Pippi, are you using sticky albums at all? Which is an app?
Yeah, that's what I'm using, sticky albums.
Yeah, I have been using them.
Yeah.
Are we putting them free in one of your price structures?
I think it's over 1,000.
Right, but we are using them as a sales tool.
What do you mean?
The app.
The app. It's like a bonus if you spend $1,000.
Okay. But we are using it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. As long as we have incentives and lift that perceived value, I think that's the important thing. Yeah, use the sticky apps.
And you're right. When you give the when you sell the digital files, I'm just curious on average, I guess, or with everyone else as well. Numbers. What sort of number of files do you guys like for everything, for the digital files?
Yeah, that's a good
number
question.
Of images.
Yeah, and I got hung up on this. I remember when I first started selling digital files, because people were saying you only show people 30 files or 40 files or 50 files, and that was going a lot in my head. But I've gotten so good at culling, and if I do a sunset shoot, I'm normally showing them around 70 files, which Bernie will probably say that's a lot, 70 or 80 files. But it's a longer shoot, and there's usually more in the family. And what I've gotten better at doing is if there's similar photos, I'll take one out. You know, it's not worth having a 20-minute discussion in a viewing session over 2 photos where her head's like this or her head's like that. It still happens every then. So, and then for studio images, I'm showing them about 50 or 60. If I'm struggling, I'm showing them 40. I have had sessions where they've gone bad, like with kids. I'll double up on images. I'll make one black and white. I'll crop it differently, you know, just so I can show them 30. And they're usually the ones that don't even spend a lot anyway. So that's a rough guide of numbers.
Right, yeah, okay.
I sell, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's great. I've just learned something with this as well. I've just had a little play on the Skype, so that's excellent that we can do this group Skype session, isn't it?
That's good.
Yes.
Really good.
I don't know if you guys heard him.
Isn't it?
Just go like this.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, can you see me? Because I've switched my camera off, so you shouldn't be able to. You can't
No,
see
we
me.
can't.
Good.
No.
One or two others were supposed to join us, but you know they got busy and in other places. Marcus was going to join us, but he had a viewing or something, made some excuse like that. But it's a good thing. We're going to keep doing this same time every week for 4 or 5 weeks. We'll see how we go. I'm not sure. Sky tells me that we can get up to 25 people, so that'd be interesting to see how the internet goes with 25 people on board.
No, I think it's good.
So yeah, well, let's. I'll put it in a circle. Who showed up again with the email addresses. So if you've got any questions you want to ask one another, you can email one another. Is that a good idea?
Cool. I think so.
I'm not great with email. I'm just going to put that out there. And messages, like I try and get back to people, but I just.
All right, I'm not going to put Mirai's details there at all. You'll have to go and look her up.
You can message me, but like, you know, I'm not going to do the whole 30, 50 email things that this guy did already.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. It's not gonna, yeah.
No, Mirai, Dan lives where you dream of living, right?
Oh no, do you live on the water?
I do live on the water.
Where?
Near Manly.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I don't mind that.
Mirai wants to live in Bondi.
In Bondi?
No, I don't want to live in Bondi. I want to live in East, but not Bondi.
Manly's not good.
Hey Dan, did you get those referrals? Did you end up getting those jobs I referred to you? There was that real estate.
Yeah, the real estate guy didn't contact, but the kitchen guy did. But I think he was looking for. I think he was under the impression that it was going to be like like a $10 an image sort of thing. So we went through it. Yeah, he wanted like CGI and everything, and I put a quote together for him and everything. But I think he was looking for something a little bit cheaper. I think so. But thank you very much for that. Thank you.
That's all right. I was just curious because I didn't know if you ended up getting the jobs or not. So it's fine. I just didn't want to do that. That's something that you do.
Yeah, no, thank you. And you should consider the Northern Beaches. You should.
I had a studio on the Northern Beaches, actually.
Really?
In Church Point,
yeah.
Church
Point.
All
right.
Next to the Pasadena.
Okay, right, okay.
Pasadena. Yeah, that's how I started wedding photography. I was there for 4 years, so I shot a lot of beach weddings and stuff. Me and Carol Gibbons were neighbours almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's no, I like living near the water. I think it's nice.
Do you have a studio, or you're not working out of a studio?
No, because we do the shoots most of them go at the beach. because we like to bring a lot of dogs as well. And like Rick said, you just end up getting. I wouldn't want to bring dogs into our home studio, which we shot here before, but it's a little bit too. It's disrupting. It's disrupting to your life, So we'll do studio in people's homes, and we also shoot at the beach as well. So rarely do we bring anyone back into the home studio, or sometimes we will just hire a studio if it's for a whole day, and do a whole bunch of shoots there. But because the other stuff that we do is a lot of corporate stuff as well, we're very used to just packing up the stuff and going to businesses and doing, corporate headshots or, product shots or all that sort of stuff as well. So for now, it's working out well. We'll see in the future, but for now,
do you have someone working with you as well?
I've got Emma working with me. She's got a 3-day-a-week job at the moment. So Mondays and Fridays, she's around here helping me as well.
That's Dan's wife,
a lot, yeah. Yeah, with a lot of the admin stuff, I find that it's she's better at it than me talking to people on the phone, and it's led to a much better turnout and conversions when she talks to them. So we tend to book those on Mondays and Fridays, and I think she's just got a lot more practice, and she's quite, I don't know, it just comes across as, I guess, better than me, I guess. So we let her do it. She gets actually quite a good conversion rate when on the phone.
So I've got to go now. I'm going to try this. I'm going to hop out of this conversation, but it might kill you all. If it doesn't, just keep talking. So I'm leaving. I'm leaving the group.
Okay. In case we get cut off,
if you get cut off, thanks for showing, and same time next week if you like, and we'll just we'll keep it going just so we can encourage one another, and Pippi, keep going. You will get there, and maybe 12 months from now you can talk about your $6,500 sale.
I hope so.
You've got a good area in San Francisco. There's plenty of money in San Francisco. We just got to get to
San Francisco.
Yeah. Well, you want to go there too. Well, there's a good place to visit. Maybe next year we'll go to San Francisco.
I just think of all the food I ate in San Francisco. You have the best food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Bernie.
Bye. See you all.